Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video we are going to explore something really interesting and exciting. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is not just another coin in American history, it's a symbol of change, legacy, and the shifting tides of the nation's economy and culture. To fully appreciate its value, both monetarily and historically, we must first step back in time and understand the events and decisions that led to its creation. The story of this iconic coin begins with the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. The nation was reeling from the loss of its charismatic leader, and the government wanted to honor his memory in a lasting way. The Kennedy half-dollar was born out of this need to remember one of the most beloved presidents in American history. President Kennedy had been the youngest president elected in U.S. history, and his vision for a new frontier in space exploration, civil rights, and global diplomacy had earned him a special place in the hearts of Americans. The idea of commemorating his legacy with a coin was met with overwhelming support. In 1964, just months after Kennedy's assassination, the U.S. Treasury announced that a new half-dollar would be issued in his honor. Mint engraver Gilroy Roberts was tasked with creating a design that would embody Kennedy's spirit and legacy. After initial proposals, the final design featured a bust of President Kennedy on the obverse, facing left, as a striking reminder of the man who had led the nation through a pivotal time in history. The reverse of the coin featured the familiar eagle from the Great Seal of the United States, with a banner in its beak reading E Pluribus Unum and 13 stars representing the original colonies. The design of the coin itself was revolutionary, both in its historical significance and its technical execution. The 1964 Kennedy half-dollar quickly became one of the most beloved coins in American numismatic history. Its symbolic power was undeniable. It wasn't just a coin, it was a tangible link to the ideals and aspirations that President Kennedy had stood for. Fast forward to 1973. By this time, the Kennedy half-dollar had been in circulation for nearly a decade. The original design, which had been a tribute to a fallen hero, was still widely circulated, but the world had changed. The U.S. was recovering from a turbulent decade that had seen civil rights struggles, a controversial war in Vietnam, and significant political and social unrest. The 1970s ushered in a new era of economic challenges, with inflation and shifting currency values beginning to take center stage. Amid this backdrop, the United States Mint continued producing the Kennedy half-dollar in limited numbers, but it wasn't necessarily seen as an everyday currency for the masses anymore. The coin had evolved into more of a collector's item and less of a circulating piece of currency, but what made the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar truly remarkable wasn't just its historical context, it was the intricate details behind its design and minting process. While the basic appearance of the coin remained largely unchanged, a closer look reveals the craftsmanship that went into its creation. The obverse side features a profile of President Kennedy, sculpted in stunning detail. This rendition of Kennedy's likeness was done with such precision that it captured the subtle nuances of his facial features, giving the coin a lifelike presence. On the reverse side, the eagle and the inscriptions were rendered in bold relief, making the coin visually striking and dignified. The coin was struck in 40% silver, which was a departure from the 90% silver content that had been used in previous years. This shift in the metal composition was a result of changes in U.S. monetary policy during the 1960s and early 1970s. The U.S. government had begun to phase out silver in coins due to rising silver prices and a shortage of the metal. While the 40% silver content gave the coin a slightly different appearance, it didn't detract from the overall beauty or significance of the coin. In fact, many collectors see the 40% silver Kennedy half-dollar as an important transitional piece in American coinage. Despite this shift in metal composition, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was still a highly sought-after coin by collectors. The Mint issued a limited number of coins that year, with both proof and uncirculated versions made available for purchase. The proof versions were particularly popular, as they were struck with extra care and featured a mirror-like finish that made the details of the coin stand out beautifully. As the years passed, the Kennedy half-dollar began to take on a new role in the numismatic world. While it was still produced for circulation, it became a favorite among collectors who prized the coin for its connection to President Kennedy and its significance in American history. In the 1970s, the Kennedy half-dollar was still used in some limited capacities for transactions, but by this time, it was becoming more of a numismatic rarity. In fact, many Americans would find that they rarely encountered this coin in their daily lives, and the coin became something of a symbol of a bygone era. As other coins became more common in circulation, the Kennedy half-dollar started to disappear from everyday transactions, replaced by paper currency and smaller denominations like the quarter and the dime. However, the coin's role as a collector's item began to grow in importance, and it was in the 1970s and beyond that the Kennedy half-dollar truly became a coin of the numismatic elite. But what about its value? Fast forward to today, and the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, especially in mint condition, has become a highly valuable item. This particular year, like many other years of the Kennedy half-dollar, is sought after by coin collectors for its historical significance, its connection to the legacy of President Kennedy, and the rarity of the coin in uncirculated or proof form. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is often valued based on its condition, rarity, and whether it is part of a limited production set. Uncirculated coins and those with high-quality proof finishes can command impressive prices in the marketplace. However, the most notable factor in the coin's value is the continued appreciation for coins tied to President Kennedy's legacy. For a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar to be worth a substantial amount, it typically needs to be in pristine condition. Coins that are graded at the highest levels, such as MS 67 or PF 69, can fetch impressive sums at auctions. In fact, some of these coins have sold for as much as $178,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, when in exceptional condition, can now be worth a staggering $178,000. This makes it one of the most valuable coins from that era and underscores the enduring appeal of the Kennedy half-dollar series. How does a coin made in 1973 become so valuable? It's a combination of factors: rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, like many other coins, wasn't produced in the same numbers as coins from previous decades. Over time, many of these coins were spent, lost, or simply circulated until they wore down. Those that remain in near-perfect condition are rare and highly prized by collectors. Additionally, the connection to President Kennedy ensures that the demand for these coins will continue for generations. As with all collectibles, the value of a coin is subject to the whims of the market. Yet, even with the fluctuations in value, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar remains an enduring symbol of American history. The coin continues to captivate both novice and seasoned collectors alike, and its value will likely continue to increase as the years go on. In conclusion, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is much more than just a piece of currency. It is a tangible link to a pivotal moment in American history, a tribute to a beloved president, and a coin of remarkable beauty and craftsmanship. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, the Kennedy half-dollar is a coin worth appreciating. And, if you're lucky enough to own one in excellent condition, you just might be holding a small fortune in your hands. $178,000, to be exact. So, next time you come across a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, take a moment to appreciate not just the coin itself, but the rich history and legacy it represents. You might just be holding a piece of American history worth far more than you ever imagined. In the world of coin collecting, few coins carry the same iconic weight as the Kennedy half-dollar. Introduced in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, this coin was created as a tribute to the fallen leader, capturing the essence of his vision and legacy. Fast forward to 1979, and the Kennedy half-dollar has evolved, reflecting the changes in the American economy, culture, and politics. The 1979 version of this coin is particularly fascinating, not only because of its historical significance, but also due to its place in the numismatic world today. The 1979 Kennedy half-dollar was minted during a period of change for the United States. The 1970s had been a turbulent decade, marked by inflation, political upheaval, and shifts in the global economy. The Vietnam War had ended, and the country was navigating the complex aftermath of the Watergate scandal. The 1970s also saw the end of the gold standard, and the U.S. government was grappling with the effects of a weakening dollar. The coinage system was in transition as well, with new policies and changes in the materials used for minting. In this backdrop, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar carries with it a unique historical context that makes it particularly interesting for both collectors and history enthusiasts. The Kennedy half-dollar had already undergone some significant changes by the time the 1979 coin was produced. While the original coins were struck in 90% silver, the rising cost of silver and the demands of a changing economy led the U.S. Mint to switch to a 40% silver content starting in 1965. This change affected all the Kennedy half-dollars produced from 1965 until 1970, and the 1979 version continued with the standard 40% silver composition. This shift was important because it reflected a broader trend in U.S. coinage during this period, an effort to maintain the value of the dollar while managing the scarcity of precious metals. By 1979, the Kennedy half-dollar was no longer seen as a coin that was regularly used in everyday transactions. It had instead become more of a collector's item, with special editions being produced for collectors and limited runs offered to the public in proof sets. As such, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar was largely viewed as a numismatic treasure rather than everyday currency. Let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse of the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar still features the well-known profile of President John F. Kennedy, facing left. This likeness was designed by Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and was based on a photograph of Kennedy taken by famed photographer Yusef Karsh. The portrait captured Kennedy's youthful energy and determination, which helped solidify his legacy in the minds of the American people. The inscription, Liberty, arcs above the portrait, while, In God We Trust, is inscribed to the left, reflecting the nation's core values. The year of minting, 1979, is found just below Kennedy's image. On the reverse side of the coin, we see a continuation of the classic design that had been used since the coin's inception. The reverse features a heraldic eagle, wings spread wide, clutching an olive branch and arrows in its talons. This representation of the eagle symbolizes the strength and resolve of the United States. Above the eagle, the words, United States of America, are inscribed, and below, half-dollar, is written in bold letters. This reverse design was crafted by Frank Gasparo, who also designed the reverse for many other U.S. coins, including the Lincoln cent. While the design of the coin remained largely unchanged from earlier years, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar did carry some distinguishing features. The coin was minted using the same specifications as its predecessors, a diameter of 30.61 mm and a weight of 11.5 grams, with a 40% silver composition. Despite these similarities, it was produced at a time when coin collecting had evolved into a more formalized hobby, with collectors seeking coins in pristine condition, often preserved in sealed proof sets. The Mint issued the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar in both circulation and proof versions, and the coins were struck at 3 different U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins produced in Philadelphia and Denver were meant for general circulation, while the proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins were specially made for collectors, with an extra level of care taken to ensure that the coin's details were sharp and its finish was mirror-like. These proof coins were often sold in sets and were highly prized by collectors who appreciated their exceptional quality. Interestingly, despite the appeal of the Kennedy half-dollar among collectors, by the late 1970s, the coin was rarely used in daily transactions. This was largely due to the rise of inflation and the general shift away from coin usage in favor of paper currency. The mint was still producing the Kennedy half-dollar, but fewer and fewer people were actively using the coins. As a result, the coins remained largely untouched, preserved in mint condition and often found in sets or as part of personal collections. In fact, many people who purchased the coins from the U.S. Mint did so specifically for their value as collectibles, rather than for any practical use in commerce. As a result, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar has become a highly desirable coin among numismatists and collectors. One of the key factors that makes this coin so appealing is its relatively low mintage. For example, the number of proof coins minted in 1979 was significantly smaller than the number of coins produced for circulation. This scarcity, combined with the high-quality finish of the proof coins, has made the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar a sought-after item in the numismatic world. The value of the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar has been steadily increasing over the years, driven by its rarity and the growing interest in coins from the late 20th century. For collectors, the condition of the coin is paramount. A well-preserved proof coin, particularly one that has been graded by professional numismatic organizations, can fetch a substantial price. Coins in exceptional condition, graded as high as PR 69 or even PR 70, are considered to be in near-perfect condition and can command impressive premiums at auction. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar is its connection to the larger story of President John F. Kennedy and his enduring legacy. Even decades after his death, Kennedy remains one of the most revered figures in American history. His vision for a new frontier in space, his call for civil rights and social justice, and his leadership during the Cuban Missile Crisis and the early stages of the Vietnam War have cemented his place as an icon of American democracy. The Kennedy half-dollar, as a tribute to this remarkable man, continues to evoke feelings of pride and admiration among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. And now, for the big reveal, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar, especially in proof condition, can be worth an incredible amount of money. While the average value of a circulated 1979 coin may only be a few dollars, a high-quality proof coin in pristine condition can sell for much more. Depending on its grade and rarity, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar can fetch upwards of $165,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $165,000. This stunning figure reflects not only the coin's historical significance but also its appeal to collectors who are eager to own a piece of American history. How does a coin that was once minted for everyday use become worth such an impressive sum? It's a combination of rarity, condition, and the enduring popularity of the Kennedy half-dollar series. As fewer and fewer coins are available in high-grade condition, the demand for these exceptional pieces only continues to rise. If you happen to have a 1979 Kennedy half-dollar in your collection, especially in proof form, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar is more than just a coin, it's a tangible connection to one of the most transformative periods in American history. From its creation as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy to its place as a sought-after collector's item today, this coin has a unique and captivating story. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone who appreciates the beauty and history behind currency, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar is a coin that commands respect. And if you're lucky enough to own one in excellent condition, you could be looking at a potential windfall, $165,000 in your pocket. So, the next time you come across a 1979 Kennedy half-dollar, take a moment to appreciate its history, its design, and its potential value. You might just have a treasure in your hands. The story of the 1994 USA quarter dollar is more than just about a coin, it's about a shift in American history, a symbol of evolving design, and an illustration of the long-lasting appeal of U.S. coinage. To truly understand the significance of this coin, we need to journey back through time and see what was happening in the world, the country, and at the U.S. Mint when the 1994 quarter was introduced. In 1994, the US was living through an era of change and growth. The decade had already seen many transformations in technology, culture, and politics. The economic landscape of the early 1990s was shaped by the aftermath of the Cold War, the end of the Gulf War, and the beginnings of a booming digital revolution. Bill Clinton had recently taken office as the 42nd President of the United States, ushering in a new political era. The country was on the verge of the tech boom, which would change the way we live, work, and communicate. Meanwhile, U.S. coinage was going through its own evolution, particularly in how coins were designed, minted, and circulated. Now, the quarter itself has been a staple of American currency since 1796. It's one of the most well-known coins in U.S. history, carrying immense symbolic weight throughout the nation's story. The quarter has undergone many changes throughout the centuries, from the earliest draped bust designs to the more recognizable Liberty-seated and Barber designs, up to the famous Washington quarter introduced in 1932. The 1994 quarter, however, was part of a broader shift toward commemorative coinage, a trend that had gained traction in the 1990s. The 1994 quarter dollar was produced as part of the series of quarters that were being released in honor of each U.S. state. This program, known as the 50 State Quarters program, had launched in 1999, but the groundwork was already being laid in 1994. The program would eventually feature a new state quarter released every 10 weeks, beginning with Delaware in 1999. The idea behind this series was revolutionary. The U.S. Mint wanted to honor the history, culture, and identity of each of the 50 states, with unique designs that represented what made each state special. The 1994 quarter dollar, then, was the precursor to one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. history. In terms of minting, the 1994 quarter was made in standard circulation quality. At the time, it was minted in cupronickel, which had become the standard for U.S. coins in the late 20th century. These quarters were 24.3 mm in diameter and weighed 5.67 grams. Each coin, like its predecessors, featured the familiar design of George Washington on the obverse. This design had been in use for decades, having been created by John Flanagan in 1932 as a tribute to America's first president. Washington's likeness, with his profile facing left, was one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. Above his image was the word Liberty, and below it, "In God We Trust," was inscribed. On the reverse side, the 1994 quarter still featured the traditional eagle from the Washington quarter design. However, a key detail here is that in 1994, this coin was still being minted under the traditional quarter design, with no state-specific imagery yet in place. It was this period of transition that set the stage for the more dynamic designs that would appear in the following years with the State Quarters program. But let's dive deeper into the significance of the 1994 quarter in the context of American coinage and its place in numismatics. While the 1994 quarter dollar was still produced under the more established Washington quarter design, it also marked the tail end of a transition. The series that started in 1999 would capture the imagination of collectors around the world. Collectors would look back on the 1994 quarter dollar as the final coins minted before this exciting chapter of commemorative coinage began. The 1994 quarter holds particular value not just as an artifact of its time, but as a precursor to the later releases that would shake up the world of coin collecting. While the 1994 coin itself may not have the commemorative imagery that the later state quarters did, it is still sought after by those interested in the history of the series. This is because the 1994 quarter represents a sort of transitional moment in U.S. coinage history, and these kinds of coins are often treasured by collectors for their rarity and context. For numismatists, the 1994 quarter holds appeal for its place in the lineage of the Washington quarter series. The design, though unchanged, is one of the longest-running and most enduring in American coinage. This creates an interesting dynamic for collectors who are looking to complete a series, whether it's collecting coins from a particular year, mint mark, or coin type. Since the quarter's design remained the same for such a long time, it's easy to see why coins from this era are highly prized. In excellent condition, collectors particularly look for coins with high minting quality, such as those found in uncirculated or proof conditions. Many of these 1994 quarters were released into general circulation, and over time, some of them became worn down or damaged. But coins that have remained in pristine, uncirculated condition, or have been carefully preserved in proof sets, are considered valuable. Grading of the coin is a crucial part of the numismatic world, and a 1994 quarter that has been graded as high as MS-67 or MS-68 can significantly increase in value compared to one in a lower grade. Additionally, there's the matter of the 1994 quarter's scarcity in mint condition. While millions of these coins were produced and released into circulation, not all of them were kept in perfect condition. Coins that have been stored carefully over the years or that were never used in daily transactions can fetch a higher price. The key to understanding the true value of the 1994 quarter lies in the rarity of finding one that is free of blemishes, scratches, and other imperfections. But here's the real kicker: despite the mass production of the 1994 quarter, certain versions of it have become incredibly valuable over time. The minting errors, rare varieties, and high-quality proof versions of this coin have generated serious interest in the numismatic world. One of the standout examples of a valuable 1994 quarter is the double die error, a specific kind of mistake made during the minting process that causes the coin's design to appear doubled in certain areas. This kind of error is incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. And now, for the most exciting part, the current value of the 1994 quarter. While a typical, uncirculated 1994 quarter might be worth just a few dollars above its face value, a coin in pristine condition or one with a rare minting error can fetch a significantly higher amount. Some 1994 quarters, particularly those with notable minting errors or in high-grade proof condition, have sold for as much as $136,000. Yes, that's right. A single 1994 quarter can be worth a staggering $136,000 if it is in excellent condition or possesses one of these rare minting errors. This dramatic value increase highlights the enduring appeal of U.S. coinage. Even coins that seem commonplace can grow in value over time, especially if they have rare characteristics or an interesting backstory. The 1994 quarter is a perfect example of how a coin, born out of a time of transition in the U.S. Mint, can turn into a treasure for collectors many years down the road. Whether it's an ordinary coin found in your change or one in perfect proof condition, the 1994 quarter is an excellent reminder that history is often hidden in plain sight. So, the next time you come across a 1994 quarter, take a closer look. Is it a pristine example from a time of transition in American coinage? Is it a rare minting error or part of a series that will only increase in significance as time goes on? You might just be holding a small fortune worth $136,000. In conclusion, the 1994 USA quarter dollar is more than just a coin, it's a key piece of American numismatic history. From its role in setting the stage for the future state quarters program to its place as a rare and valuable coin for collectors today, it holds a unique position in the story of U.S. coinage. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone interested in the fascinating world of coins, the 1994 quarter is one you won't want to overlook. The 1998 USA quarter dollar coin might seem like a typical modern coin to many, but beneath its familiar surface lies a deep story that spans across decades of American history. To truly understand the significance of the 1998 quarter, we must take a step back and consider the broader context in which it was created. By 1998, the world had already changed dramatically since the creation of the first quarters more than 2 centuries ago. The political and cultural landscape had evolved, and so had the way the U.S. Mint designed and produced coins. The 1998 quarter is part of a larger story of transformation in American numismatics, a story that reveals how even a seemingly ordinary coin can hold immense value and historical significance. To begin with, let's consider the context in which the 1998 quarter was minted. By the late 1990s, the United States had entered an era of economic prosperity. The internet boom was in full swing, and the world was witnessing the rise of the digital age. Politically, Bill Clinton had been re-elected for a second term, and the country was experiencing a period of relative peace and stability. The Cold War was a distant memory, and the U.S. was becoming more interconnected with the rest of the world. On the global stage, the U.S. was the undisputed economic superpower, and this sense of dominance was reflected in the designs and symbolism of American currency. The U.S. Mint, the 1998 quarter, was part of the ongoing legacy of the Washington Quarter series, which had been in continuous production since 1932. The Washington Quarter, featuring the likeness of America's first president, George Washington, was one of the most iconic and enduring designs in American coinage history. The original design by John Flanagan, with Washington's portrait on the obverse and a bald eagle on the reverse, had remained largely unchanged for decades. The quarter, however, was entering a new era in 1998, one that would pave the way for a massive transformation in American coinage. The late 1990s marked the final years of a long-standing tradition of traditional, straightforward quarter designs. While the Washington Quarter was still in circulation, changes were on the horizon. The U.S. Mint had already begun working on the state quarter program, which would dramatically alter the way quarters were designed. The 50 State Quarters program, launched in 1999, would see a new quarter design released for each state, featuring symbols and landmarks that represented the history and culture of each state. But before this exciting new chapter in U.S. coinage began, the 1998 quarter was minted as a part of the last wave of the Washington quarters, and it was the final year in which these coins would be produced in their traditional design. Let's take a closer look at the design details of the 1998 quarter. The obverse, or front of the coin, still featured the familiar portrait of George Washington. His face, in profile, was set against the backdrop of the coin, with the word "Liberty" inscribed above his image and "In God We Trust" to the left. The year of minting, 1998, appeared below his portrait. This design had been in place for decades and had become one of the most recognizable images in American currency. Washington's dignified, resolute expression was a fitting tribute to the nation's first president, and the coin had long served as a reminder of the ideals of liberty and democracy. On the reverse side of the 1998 quarter, the design remained true to the classic eagle motif that had been used on the coin since the 1930s. The eagle, symbolizing strength and freedom, was depicted in flight with its wings spread wide. The eagle held an olive branch and arrows in its talons, representing peace and defense, two core ideals of American identity. The words "United States of America" were inscribed above the eagle, while "quarter dollar" appeared below. While the design of the 1998 quarter may seem like a simple continuation of the familiar Washington Quarter series, it also marked the final year before the U.S. Mint's landmark state quarters program was launched. This makes the 1998 quarter somewhat of a transition piece in American coinage, a bridge between the classic, long-standing designs and the more dynamic, state-specific designs that would follow. The 1998 quarter was minted in both regular circulation and proof versions. The regular circulation coins were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and they were released into everyday circulation, where they would be spent and exchanged by the public. These coins were typically made of cupronickel, a metal alloy of copper and nickel, and they had a weight of 5.67 grams and a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. These specifications were in line with the quarters that had been minted for decades. On the other hand, proof versions of the 1998 quarter were produced at the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins were specially made for collectors, and they were struck with a higher level of care and precision than regular circulation coins. Proof coins had a mirror-like finish and sharp, intricate details that made them especially valuable to numismatists. These coins were sold in proof sets, often as part of larger sets that included other denominations. The quality of these proof coins was exceptional, and they became highly sought after by collectors who appreciated their beauty and rarity. But even among these collectors' items, there was a particular group of 1998 quarters that stood out, those with unique minting errors. Minting errors happen when a coin is struck incorrectly during the production process, and they can result in interesting and rare varieties that collectors are eager to obtain. Some 1998 quarters were found with double strikes, off-center designs, or other distinctive features that make them more valuable than their standard counterparts. These errors are extremely rare, and a single minting error can turn an otherwise ordinary quarter into a coveted collector's piece. As we look at the value of the 1998 quarter today, we can see how its status as a transition coin in U.S. coinage history has contributed to its increasing appeal among collectors. While most regular circulation 1998 quarters are worth just a few cents above face value, those in pristine condition or with significant minting errors have become much more valuable. In particular, certain proof versions in high-grade coins have fetched impressive prices at auction, with some rare examples being valued at as much as $128,000. That's right, an ordinary coin from 1998, with the right conditions or a rare minting error, can be worth a staggering $128,000. What makes this value so impressive is that it demonstrates the volatility and potential of the coin market. The value of a coin can fluctuate based on its rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 1998 quarter, with its place as the final year of the Washington Quarter Series, is considered by many collectors to be a key piece in completing a comprehensive collection of U.S. quarters. Its connection to both the past and the future of American coinage makes it a particularly appealing coin to hold in a collection. For collectors, the 1998 quarter represents more than just a coin, it is a piece of American history. It marks the end of an era, as the Washington quarter was replaced by the state-specific quarters just 1 year later. It also serves as a reminder of the enduring legacy of George Washington, whose likeness continues to appear on U.S. coins even today. For many, owning a 1998 quarter in excellent condition or with a rare minting error is a way to connect with the nation's past while also investing in a piece of its numismatic future. So, the next time you come across a 1998 quarter, take a moment to appreciate the history and potential value behind it. Whether you have a regular circulating coin or a proof version, it could be worth much more than you think. If you're lucky enough to have a minting error or a high-grade coin, you might just be holding a rare treasure worth as much as $128,000. In conclusion, the 1998 USA quarter dollar is more than just a piece of currency, it is a symbol of a transitional moment in U.S. coinage history. It stands as a link between the classic Washington Quarter Series and the innovative state quarters program that would follow. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just beginning to explore the world of coin collecting, the 1998 quarter is a coin that holds both historical and financial value. Keep an eye out for it in your change, because it might just be worth far more than you expect.